Week 6 on the Always Sunday Football League, and the hits just keep on coming. Take a hit. As the injuries mount and the streaks lengthen, the league landscape is beginning to take shape. In this episode, we break down the action from this past week, we discuss some more names added to the injury list, and we look ahead to some exciting Week 7 games. And we try to figure out why so many teams are on bye this week, but then none are on bye next week. But first, let's welcome our esteemed panel. Anthony joining me in the Two Clouded Minds studio. What's up, bruh?
What's going on, my guy?
How you doing?
Good. So good and excited that I forgot I should really join in on the video. What do you think?
No, you don't have to join in on the video. You're on the video.
I know, but just so I could see everybody else. My friendly faces and the messaging. That was my job.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, but sign in, but I won't put you on the screen. I think I can do that here, but just make sure you're muted. Jonny, how's it going down there?
Doing shabby.
Yeah.
You're doing shabby?
Is that a thing?
That's not good. You're not
Nah.
good? Oh, my goodness. I don't know why you would be doing shabby, but maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later. Danny, how's it going, man?
Quite good.
Awesome.
Yeah, no complaints.
Welcome to the show. Anthony is bringing up his little thingy right now. And in the meantime, let's go with, okay, here he is. You're in there, right? You can still do your stuff. Okay, cool.
Because my camera doesn't work on my laptop, so it's perfect.
It is perfect. And away we go. Anthony, why don't we get started? You said to remind you about a note, so let's just throw that note in right now and see where it takes us.
Thank you. Because I honestly forgot immediately.
Well, you told me to remind you. The floor is yours.
I appreciate it. We all remember week 4, okay? And I had played against the Chump.
Go ahead. Week 4, played against the Chump. Go ahead.
And prior to him realizing his team was ass, he was saying this bet was going to happen.
Sure.
The bet used to be 50. He lowered it to 25.
Sure.
Silent for the week after week 4. Nothing has really happened about that.
I might have to correct you, but go ahead. I'm going to let you finish.
Well, all I'm saying is he lost.
And you're just mentioning that you haven't gotten paid yet.
But what I want to do is I want that payment to go to the commish for all the trophy things that's been and towards that purpose, or we could throw it up for like saying, the most points scored, best
I think
record,
you guys play again later in the season, so maybe you could do a double or nothing. But what I will say on Luis's behalf is that he has several times tried to give me the money for you.
Oh, okay.
And I just keep like spacing on it where I'm I either didn't give him my Venmo. Yeah, exactly. I didn't give him my Venmo, or he had the money and we just didn't link up. But he has mentioned it to me several times.
So that I didn't know.
Yeah. And I apologize because that's on me. So I'll take full blame for that. Luis, stand-up guy. He tried to get you the money right away.
Well, then I
the
stand
night
corrected.
of the game, if I'm not mistaken, he texted me being like, "What's your Venmo? I want to send you the money." And I'm just like, at first I was like, "Well, let me just get out of the way of this and let you just send him the money directly." And I just completely forgot about it.
Well,
and then he has mentioned it like more than once, like after that. So he keeps trying to remind me, and I keep just kind of like dropping the ball because want to know why? It's not my $25, so I don't fucking care.
Well, this guy was gonna be giving it. Just wow.
But yeah, no, Luis is fully on the up and up on that one. That's
I want to, because every year you do a lot in the trophy and the upgrades.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. Again, I'm gonna say the same thing to you that I said to Luis, which is that I want to be out of this. I want this to be between you two guys. So maybe you have him pay it forward to the next matchup or something to that effect. But we don't need to get into that. But okay. The business is done. It's neat and clean for the time being. He has been trying to get you that money. He has mentioned it. That's me failing to make the connection. Sorry about that. I wish there was a way you two guys could contact each other. Okay. Let's go to our next segment. It's one of our favorite segments. It's called Not What You Want. Hey, guys, a couple more injuries this week. We'll start off with my boy, Kyron Williams, who had an ankle injury, and it was like Danny Mac reporting on a high ankle sprain. He's like, he might just miss this 1 week. And then like 2 days later, he's out until through week 10. So it was like a Danny Mac special on the Kyron Williams ankle injury news as it came out. Yeah, he might just be out for 1 week. Oh, I'm just kidding. I meant 4 weeks, 4 full weeks. So yeah,
No.
that was not what you want. David Montgomery, ribs banged up. Not sure what his playing status is going to be this week, but if you're counting on David Montgomery, that is definitely not what you want. Similarly, the oblique. Jonny, can you show me on your body where the oblique is? Christian McCaffrey injured his oblique. Where's your oblique? Can you point to it?
Not doing that.
Debo injured his shoulder. John, point to your shoulder. Show us shoulder. Got it. Jahmyr Gibbs missed this past week with a hammy. He's missed like 2 weeks in a row or something like that, and we're not sure if he's coming back. That's not what you want. Justin Fields, dislocated thumb, popped it back into place, tried to play, couldn't play.
Throwing
hand. Probably going to miss, a handful of weeks, 2-3 weeks. I don't know what's the standard on a thumb. Danny, you're our injury expert. How long is he going to miss for the thumb?
A little bit of time, maybe more than that.
Indefinite?
Maybe no time. Maybe indefinite.
He'll miss it.
Danny, correction. He is doubtful for this current week.
He's out for at least 1 week. John, point your thumb.
Yeah.
My guess would be anywhere between a game or the year. Somewhere in there.
So, all right, you're giving us a window. You're giving us a return window. That's fine. Scheduled to return per Danny Mac. Deshaun Watson, shoulder. Now, this is an interesting one because he's been medically cleared. He's been medically cleared for a little while, but he's just like,
it's above the shoulder.
Doesn't feel good for me. I don't like it. I know the doctor said it was good. I don't like it. Danny, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's Deshaun Watson. It's like it gets better and better.
This is what happens when the money is fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna also say that I do think the Browns have a good chance of making a push for a playoff, and they want a healthy Deshaun Watson. That defense is that defense is pretty good, and that team could sneakily most definitely be a wild card team for sure.
The problem is that they have a healthy Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson might find something to make himself unhealthy.
Wait, we got a message here. Happy Hump Day. This is from David Koo. 4-2 PPR needed. Your thoughts? Gave up Kenny Walker and Garrett Wilson for Cup. That's a good trade.
Still have Swift and Jones the rest of season. Thoughts? Need your thoughts. Gave up Walker and Garrett Wilson for Cup. You paid the higher price.
I like that trade. When did you do that? I guess better.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, if it's now, if we're talking right now,
that's great. He's back to 10 to 15 targets a game.
Yeah, no, he's legit. So that's a good trade. Good trade. My thoughts are that was a good trade by you. You still have Swift and Aaron Jones, but obviously you're waiting on Aaron Jones's health. That's going to be a concern. What I wonder what his other receivers are.
Yeah, what else?
You know what I mean? To see what we're looking at besides Cup, because you gave up Garrett Wilson. So, like, losing Walker away from Swift and Jones isn't that bad, but you gave up Wilson. Who did you retain? Who do we have for the running backs? But yes, thank you very much once again, David Koo.
Any relations to the kicker?
Oh, check this out.
I have Diggs, Zay, and Michael Thomas. So you have Diggs and Cooper Kupp. I think I like that.
Diggs and Cooper Kupp is awesome. Michael Thomas is a solid wide receiver 3.
Yes.
So solid enough. Which Zay are we talking about here? We have to be specific on our Zay these days.
Zay Jones.
Is it Zay Jones or Zay Flowers?
I think it's Jones, if I'm going to guess.
Well, it could be
because you would just want to say Flowers.
Would you rather have Zay Jones or Zay Flowers right now, Danny?
Probably Flowers.
Johnny?
Definitely Flowers.
Yeah, it's Flowers. I was wrong.
Yes, Flowers.
And he's got Zay Flowers.
I like it.
I like it.
He's probably the number 1 on that team. I still don't think Zay Jones is more than a third on that team.
So yeah, you have you have a great. What is your running backs after Jones and Swift now? Because now I'm thinking
there it is. It is Zay Flowers. So
Yeah,
Yes.
Zay Flowers. So he's got a great receiving core.
Yeah, it's
So
very good.
I guess it's now a question. You gave up Walker. What do you have after Swift and Jones? But I'm extremely happy.
You
with
can
that
cobble
receiving
something
core.
together
You
till
could
Jones gets
just
healthy.
as long as those two guys are starting, you could just Warren and Hunt. All right, yeah. So
That's good. Yeah, that's good enough. You could start those. You could flex one of those guys.
You can definitely start, flexing Warren. He's getting enough volume and work for that. Hey, great job, Koo.
Nice work, Koo. Good luck. Good luck out there. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, thanks. We're here every Wednesday.
That's right. And check out the Two Clouded Minds show on YouTube as well.
Bang bang. 2-for-1 special.
There you go. Where else okay, so did we talk about Trevor Lawrence hurting his knee?
No, we didn't get there yet. Jesus.
You got it, David Koo. You got it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the Two Clouded Minds. Lawrence is
a lot of quarterbacks.
Lawrence's knee. Daniel Jones missed with the neck, and we're still kind of questionable.
Just gained a follower. Appreciate you.
Danny, where do you stand? You're the injury expert on Daniel Jones. When's he going to be back with the neck?
That who knows with the Giants right now. I mean, they're not going to rush him back. I would assume he'll be at least 1 or 2 more games.
Interesting. Tyrod looked pretty good. Honestly, he was throwing nice little drop passes to dropping a bucket passes to Slayton down the side. Like, they had been doing it for years together. So fair enough on that. Josh Allen, shoulder. I expect him to play.
I think he's fine.
But he did get a little banged up. It's worth mentioning. And speaking of shoulder, Miles Sanders. And this will be our little segue here. Miles Sanders missed this past week with a shoulder, and he's obviously questionable going forward right now. But interestingly enough, the 2023 chump started him in his lineup anyway, even though he was ruled inactive like early in the week. So we can start our recaps there. The run team, whose name still stinks, beat the chump 156.78 to 83.86. I'll say that again, 156.78 to 83.6. So that, if I'm doing my math correctly, is almost double. Close. Not quite. Yeah, not quite. Run pushes his record to 4-2. The chump falls to 0-6. We're witnessing history.
Not what you want.
It's not what you want. We're witnessing history here. This is something like we've never seen before. I love it. It's great for drama. It's great for suspense.
Who doesn't love drama?
We like to have things to root for in this league. Speaking of 0-6, however, Anthony, another team fell to 0-6 this week. Sweep the leg, defeated Pretty Boy Jonny by a score of 145.3 to 123.6. Tell us all about it.
Well, this matchup, we were going in like, we kind of knew where it was going to go. And then after the 1:00 games, it was spicy. It became a close game. The 1:00 games where it wasn't like, oh man, it's a for sure this way, that way.
Yeah, no, it was a good game.
It was a great game. And then unfortunately your boy goes down, but before he goes and gets himself hurt, he had a hell of a game. Your boy Kerryon Williams had 24.8 points,
158 rushing yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, is that good? On 20 carries. That's good. And then your consistency of AJ Brown just demanding all the work, and the recently traded squad for Devontae Smith hoping to get something. He had 11 targets, which is what you want to see, but he only had 5 catches for 44 yards. That's not what you want. No, it's not. Ferguson, I was upset with him this week as well. But Ferguson comes in there, not 1 catch. And then the big problem here is that goose egg by Quentin Johnson. Now, I don't know if there was anything else. I don't think there was anything else that was startable. I mean, you're not going to twin tight end, but not that it would have made a difference. It was close. And this unfortunately pushes our sweet pretty boy Jonny to 0-6. It's 2 0-6 teams.
I don't know if we've ever had 2 0-6 teams together
I would gamble on that being true.
I don't have the ability right now with as many times as we've jumped from platform to platform to really pull up all the stats, especially Yahoo. They don't save anything.
No, they're like, fuck you guys.
But yeah, this is unprecedented. This is simply, as they say in the biz, unprecedented. Jonny, your thoughts? How you feeling?
It's over. It's over. All right. That's it.
It's not over. If you went undefeated for the rest of the season, he could get in. No.
Oh, if he went undefeated, he would definitely get in at 8-6.
Come on.
Still got 8 games to play.
And you know what? We'll get into it, but next week.
Look, every matchup's a winnable matchup.
Dude, any given Sunday, fam.
That's what they say.
That's what this week was, except not for the Giants.
Yeah, I don't know.
Highway robbery.
So speaking of, we talked about our 0-6 teams. Our last remaining undefeated team kept their record perfect this week, guys, in a thrilling game of the week. Stillwater triumphed over, that's what she said, 131.42 to 127.76. Jonny, tell us all about it.
Yeah, this was a really interesting game in which both quarterbacks, as you mentioned, were injured. Justin Fields with a 5.92 going down with a thumb injury, while Josh Allen with 14.86 going down with a shoulder injury. It was really interesting, even with the running backs. Stillwater had a great performance from Pachenko, but that David Montgomery injury to the shoulder left him with only 4.3, while that's what she said, had great performances from ETN and Swift. However, the deciding factor was that's what she said had some very poor performances from his wide receivers, in which D. Hopkins, I'm telling you right now, the Tennessee D. Hopkins, I just want to let you know, any wide receiver that goes to the Titans dies there.
Except for A.J. Brown.
Except for A.J. Brown, but he got traded. So, again, he's free. But 3 points from D-Hops. Michael Thomas, 9.5. And newly acquired Tutu, just a measly single digits.
D-Hop and Tutu.
And for that was the deciding factor. And Stillwater goes from 6-0, and that's what she said, drops to 3-3.
Now, you could say that was the deciding factor, but I think that we saw in the chat where Will knew that the dagger had been, slipped through between the ribs. At one point in the Eagles-Jets game, at the end of the game, the Jets were down near the goal line and there wasn't a lot of time left. So, strategically, very often, a team will let the other team score just so that they could get the ball back and try to go and, put points up or whatever. And so the Eagles let Breece Hall score, and Will typed into the chat, fucking Eagles let Hall score. And that 6 points, I mean, that was the difference in the game, because it was 131 to 127. It was only 4
points.
Yeah. So that 6 points. Talk about the difference in the game. The Eagles letting Breece Hall walk in for that touchdown ended up changing the outcome of this game and kept Stillwater undefeated. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, boys.
That's a thought. Quick question: if Tutu Atwell or Tyler Boyd, who would you start?
Tyler
Probably
Boyd.
Tutu.
Yeah, see, I know. So it's a tough call. He left some on the bench, but it's like, can you really do that? Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call.
You're not starting Dak over Josh Allen against the Giants. The Giants defense did their thing that game.
Well, you know what?
Bad performances this week. A lot of bad performances.
A lot of wild shit this year for sure.
Yeah, there was some lower scores.
Not a lot of scoring. Yeah.
Yeah. This was, as we mentioned, the most exciting, closest game of the week. But the almost upset did not give us the headline-grabbing ending we were hoping for. Instead, this week's GOAT comes from this week's biggest blowout. Sizzler defeated the Drunken Bums 156.48 to 76.24 to bring both teams' records to 4-2. The Bums came into the week with sole possession of first place in the J-Chuck division and laid a complete stinker out there to fall back into a tie after week 6. The Bums scored their lowest point total of the season by about 40 points and got doubled up by their opponent this week. We talked about almost getting doubled up. Well, the Bums got fully doubled up this week. No team has racked up more key injuries. No team has scored fewer points this week. And for that, the Drunken Bums are this week's GOAT. It was bad. Shockingly bad for a 4-1 team to go out there and just completely stink it up. It was shameful. Anthony, you beat the hell out of this guy. What do you got to say for yourself?
Nothing. It was I'm happy. My running backs, Ramondre finally performed. That was probably my most exciting thing about that game. My game is that Ramondre
came to life, showed a little life.
Scored over 15 fantasy points. Yes, that's beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah. My number 3 draft pick. Thank you, dickhead.
And so I was looking at the stats and I was looking at everything, and I usually put out like a little message to everybody and let them know who the hero and the GOAT is going to be so that they can pick different games and so on and so forth. And I put out a particular hero, and then I looked at the scores and I looked at the games, and I realized that I had missed one very key, very important game. The Golden Showers scored 182.4 points this week against 118.12 for Team Blumpkin to even their record at 3-3 and emerge as a legitimate Baldwin division presence. Danny Mac put up the week's biggest score, racking up over 180 points in a week where scoring was down overall, as we mentioned. Mostert continued to smash with 37.2 points, and only one player scored below 13.9. Very balanced attack this week. Everybody did very well. This is not the Golden Shower's first big score of the season, and they average about 10 points per game more than the other two teams tied at 3-3 in their division. The champ still knows how to push the right buttons, and for that, the Golden Showers are this week's hero. Nice game, Danny. Good job. Even the record at 3-3. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah. Well, we talked about it when I was telling you last week. I was just hoping to get by and win. This week, I was hoping to score some points. And yeah, I caught a break. Everybody did pretty good. I mean, outside of Mostert, no one really went off per se, but it was just like a bunch of 17, 18, 23.
Yeah, very balanced.
Yeah, everyone have no real duds. Not that many.
Not that many.
So no, I'll take it. I'll take it. From 1 to 3 to be here, I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to get it done. And as I mentioned, averaging 10 points per game more than the other 2 3-3 teams. So,
yeah, the points are probably going to come in handy.
Yeah. Yep.
They're going to decide something.
They always do. The Gotham Rogues scored more points than Beer Muscles this week. They won 144.4 to 110.34. Danny, what did we miss if we didn't look at this game?
Yeah, Bobby fell just a little short. Fairly consistent performance from Bobby. Didn't have too many rough ones except for Pierce and Komet, but no one really went off. I mean, Drake Line had like 23.5. On the flip side, Gotham pretty consistent, but St. Brown, he had somebody go off. And, made the difference. Won by 25, 30 points?
Yeah, by about 34, 33.
Well, yeah.
34, almost exactly 34.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, DJ Moore back down to 10 points. Who knows what's going on with Fields? The B. Robinsons did okay, 13 and 14, but not much on those.
One of those B. Robinsons is supposed to be scoring a lot more than that.
Yes. One you'd probably take 14. One you need more. But I mean, really, it wasn't too bad till he got to the last 4 spots, and that just killed him.
Yeah.
The 2 flexes, tight end and defense didn't, Palmer 10 and Dallas 9 points is okay, but not enough. Bobby falls to 3-3, but Still in it.
For sure. Definitely still in the mix. We've got a lot of teams that are really right now clumped up at 3-3, 4s. You got a couple 4-2s, couple 2-4s,
couple 0-6.
Well, come on, buddy. Those teams. We're talking about we're talking about playoffs right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on.
I thought you were grouping together records.
Don't mention those teams when we talk about playoffs. Come on, buddy.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. I'm just trying to win a game. Fellas, let's take a look ahead at some key matchups for this week. What do you say? Interested?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Let's go right now to the game of the week.
The game of the week.
The game of the week this week. The Golden Showers at 3-3 take on the Drunken Bums at 4-2. Bye weeks and injuries begin to take their toll. The Golden Showers has almost 85 more total points than the Bums, and both teams need wins to keep pace in their divisions. This is a crucial moment for each team. Danny, you've been pretty right so far about your team the last couple weeks. Where do you stand right now coming into this week?
I'm not that hurt by bye weeks outside of Lamb. So I lose one of my best players, but it's only one. It's not like when I played you. It's not like a couple weeks ago. And he's got who? Two people, right?
Something. Yeah.
He's a little bit more beat up in that regard than me. And I think he's waiting to hear from some guys with injuries. But I feel pretty good. I think I'm going to win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. I like it. I like it very much. Anthony, sweep the leg at 3-3. Faces off against That's What She Said, also at 3-3. Bye weeks have some pretty crazy players in these lineups. What do we got?
Well, this one's really, really interesting, right? We have 2 3-3 teams. We have Sweep the Leg, who's in a 3-way tie, I believe, in the league in his division. That's 3-3. So this game very, very important for Sweep the Leg, where That's What She Said is the only person in his division for 3-3. So he's in the middle of the pack. Important for him as well. He wants to, keep pushing onto the top, but much more important for Sweep the Leg, especially with those injuries that just occurred, and as you said, the bye weeks. So the biggest question mark here and concern is the running backs for Sweep the Leg. The receivers are fine. Oh, is he back this week, Deontay?
I think so.
All
the talk has been that
probably
he should be back this week. Deontay Johnson.
Well, in that aspect, regardless, you have the receivers, in my opinion. When the other Odell Beckham, that's rough. Kendrick Bourne had a good game last week, but the running backs are the big question mark here. If you could have a nice little hit on that being one of their big blow up games. Hey, Latavius Murray was like RB1 last week on that team, but it's going to be interesting to see. This has a lot of excitement and must win scenario on this team on this matchup.
Yeah, I wish that I had, at least one of Pollard or Kyron Williams this week. Like if Williams wasn't injured or if Pollard wasn't on the bye, I would feel just so much better about having to fill one fewer spot with some fucking wacko. Right now, Justice Hill, Zach Charbonnet, and Latavius Murray. I mean, Murray is probably in there, but then Craig Reynolds could end up in my lineup if Gibbs and
Montgomery's out. He's not playing this.
So that could be a Craig Reynolds play. I grabbed Royce Freeman because Williams is going to be down a couple weeks, so you never know how he'll work into the mix. I just
that one, that's a security thing, just to have one of the pieces. But I think on that offense, it's which one they're going to choose or a committee. But yeah, it's rough.
What a mess. My running back room, gross. So gross, especially this week with Pollard on the bye. So I miss him. I miss him dearly. Hey, buddy, rest up. Rest up.
Yeah, buys can kill you.
Yeah. Beer Muscles 3-3, taking on still running a bad team name out there, who's sitting at 4-2. Jonny, both teams have such shaky stars scrubs rosters. There's a lot of variance to both teams. Talk about this matchup.
Yeah, actually, both teams are in a three-way tie in their respective divisions. In the three-way tie with the Rogues and the Bums in the J Chuck division, Run Who Said Your Name looks to stay on top of the J Chuck division, which I find the J Chuck division is just really bad. And then with in a three-way tie with the Golden Showers and Sweep the Leg is our sweet boy Bobby J. And he looks to turn things around against a tough loss against the Gotham Robes last week. So obviously we know that Run Who Said Your Name will be favored in this matchup with Tua and a questionable Christian McCaffrey. That's a big question mark because if he does
Jonny,
not,
where's the oblique on your body? Where is it?
I'm not showing you that.
What makes it worse is the game's Monday night.
Yeah, it's And while Bobby J looks for an upset with the B-Robs, and I'm calling it, this is the key matchup, and Bobby J with the upset for this upcoming key matchup.
Ooh, interesting. Pulling the upset. I like it.
I do like that.
Nice. The Sizzler is sitting at 4-2 right now. Look at this guy at 4-2, trading all over the place, taking on the Blumpkin, who's at 2-4. Danny, can Anthony take care of business and establish himself as like a powerhouse in the Baldwin division?
Probably, yeah. At least this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's looking pretty good.
That was better.
Yeah. It's pretty even till you get to the wide receivers, and then Ant just blows them out of the water. Adams, Cup, Allen, Birds, Lockett, Zay Flowers, and somebody who plays for the Giants. Yeah, not what you want. Eckler looked all right coming back, though. Maybe Lamar is a big game, but I don't know. And I just think matchup-wise, especially if Allen's a little banged up, they can lean on Cook a little. Stevenson showing signs of life. We'd like to see a little bit more. I think he's in pretty good shape this week.
Nice. Anthony, how you feeling? You agree with what Danny said?
I do agree. I feel pretty good. The Blumpkins team a little shaky. There's a consistent 2 tight end on that squad. So I mean, there's certain weeks where that they both are going to blow up and that's going to bust somebody. But I'll take those odds.
Fair enough.
You're also talking about the lowest scoring team in that league.
Good call, John. Good call on that one. It's crazy to think that at 2-4, he's the lowest scoring team. There's
2-0-16.
Yeah,
right,
and he's got less points.
It's pretty wild. It's
crazy.
pretty wild stuff. I mean, it does matter who you play, but the Blumpkin has not been putting the points on the board. Not the way you want. Guys, we're on Streak Watch. Check it out. Streak Watch. Streak Watch. The 6-0 Stillwater Gang takes on the 0-6 Pretty Boy Jonny.
For the record, this was almost my game of the week.
For the record, it's an almost game of the week. Put that down. Write it down, babe. It's an almost game of the week. For the record, this is a matchup between obviously one of the 0-6 teams versus the 6-0 team. It was a close one last week. Kirk Stillwater Gang dodged a little bit of a bullet there. And this week, Jonny Boy is hoping to pull the upset. John, how you feel? No, like divorce yourself from the fact that, don't talk about playoffs right now. Don't talk about like long-term, season-long, what's the overall. This week, this is a 1-week game. What are we thinking about this week in this matchup? How do you feel?
I don't feel confident. I mean, I put the best lineup I can out. I picked up Sam Howell. I like Sam Howell against the Giants this coming week. Hoping Jonathan Taylor comes, gets a little bit more work. Picked up Jeff Wilson a couple last week. He's supposed to be playing. I think it's a nice 1-2 punch. And I picked up Sam Howell also to do that stack with McLaren. I'm hoping a big game. And Geno Smith is another one. And I have a questionable Devontae Smith. So I picked up Tyler Algier. So doing what I can to just stay alive and to score as many points as I can.
Well, lucky for you, John. He has Danny Jones in there, which I don't think will play this week. So he has to figure
this is
out
disrespectful.
He has to figure out a QB situation. He won't have Montgomery, even though he's questionable. I don't think he plays. No Justin Jefferson. He's got no Brees
Both
Hall.
of those guys you just mentioned are on the bench. He's got Chuba Hubbard on a bye. He's in his starting lineup. But even with the guy on a bye in his starting lineup, he's still projected to score more points than John. John's talking about, I put my best lineup out there. Well, this is not looking good. John, I hope you win. Obviously, the story would be it would be amazing next week.
The 0-6 team beats the 6-0 team.
It would be incredible. This is what
I'm rooting for it.
Why we play the game.
Not because he's in my division or anything.
Well, no, that would be like the icing on the cake. That would be the icing on the cake. For me, I just want to see John's face next week. I mean, right now he looks like damn Eeyore. The Gotham Rogues 4-2 taking on the 2023 Chump, who is also sitting at 0-6. Streak watch.
Oh, that's got to be a dance.
The Gotham Rogues 4-2 against the 0-6 Chump. Come on, buddy. Anybody want to take the Chump in this one? Anyone?
Nah, hard pass.
John?
Big hard pass. He's not even going to set his lineup because he's going to make some excuse to put Miles Sanders in or something.
I think he's saving all of his ammo for week 10.
Week 10. I was about to say you guys play week 10. You and him play week 10. Do you think you got John?
Last person left.
John, do you think you'll have a win by the time you guys play in week 10?
Wow.
Probably not.
So that's going to be the deciding factor?
Just
that's so juicy.
No. See, I think that there's a decent chance. Like, people run into wins all the time. I mean, look, we just talked about the Blumpkin. The Blumpkin has 2 wins, and he's the lowest scoring team in the league. All the time. So there's a probability that he would win a game, I think. But I asked the question because I wanted to see really how low John is right now. And he's low.
He's low.
He's real low. I just wanted to see, hey, John, are you okay down there? And he's not okay down there.
No.
Nope, not at all. However, the Chump is like a locked and loaded 0-7. So this is something that we've never seen before. Like this could really truly be.
It's the only way he wins
one for the
game
ages.
Is Hill's been pretty consistent, so it's like, and Ridley fell off, so it's got to be a hit and a hit on Ridley, Hill, and like one other of his starting players. And
the thing is,
against a bad week,
it's possible. Like, we play DFS a lot, and you play the $3,000 guy, and the $3,000 guy can hit. You know what I mean? Like, he can score a touchdown. He can do the thing because he's projected. That's the reason why he's the $3,000 guy this week. It's because he's projected to do. So, like, Luis, in theory, could. I mean, he's not the lowest. He scored 140 points last week or the week before. The week before this, and but it's just.
I will say this. Week 1 when Bobby and Luis played and we had the great matchup and we're like, how are we going to top this? 0-9 versus 0-9 could top it.
That can. I think that
does. That combined. If it gets there, it'd be a combined 18 games without a win. Game of the year.
It would. I mean, there's nothing to describe it. It would be unprecedented, truly.
Yeah, I think we need it.
It would be great. It would be great.
Records are, you got to break them or make them.
That's right. So there you go. We're going to have.
I'll do one bold prediction about that. Is that by the time my matchup with Luis is that he will be the lowest scoring team in the league at the time of my matchup with him.
So
Interesting.
He's going to drop lower. How far off right now? Let me see.
I think it's like 10 points.
He's the second lowest scoring team in the league.
Yeah, 671.
It's only
Look at
8,
Blumpkin.
10 points, I think.
638. So they're 40 off.
40 points.
They're about 40 off. So that's
Which-
not a hard thing to do in 3 weeks.
That's, I mean, hey, that's a fair, that's a bold prediction. I mean, I'll accept it. Put it on the board. Put it on the board. Yeah. So there you go. John, you all right, buddy?
Yeah. No, he's looking. I mean, would you be like happy?
I don't know.
I remember the time I had a bad record.
I'm not. For the record, I have to play Johnny in week 9. Do you know if he gets to 0-8? Do you know the pressure that's going to be? I'm going to win that game.
Yes,
Especially if Louis. I mean,
that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
When I played
Hello.
John this week.
Think about the champ for a sec.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody thinks about me. Nobody thinks about
nobody. Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, no, I had that moment in between, I think, the 1 o'clock and the 4 o'clock games. Where I was like, I think I'm gonna actually lose to John. This is gonna be, John's first win. This is something. Like, and then the 4 o'clock games went and got played and my guys went off. But there was a moment where I really did feel that John had me, and I was just like, wow, this is what it's like, man. I'm really hitting rock bottom right now. But I still have ways to go before I hit rock bottom, thankfully.
And imagine being the one
rock bottom's here, baby. Rock bottom's here. Let's get it. Let's get the perspective right. It's right here.
Yeah.
And if it's 1-8 versus 0-9, nobody wants to be that one team to have lost to one of them and deprive the league of this.
Yeah, there's so much magic brewing. There really is. There's a tremendous amount of magic brewing. Can you pull up the Stillwater schedule? Can we look ahead a couple of weeks?
Yeah. Where do you want to go? What week? Do you want to go each week?
Week by week till week 10.
Okay, so this week we know he plays. We just said it.
He plays
Johnny.
He plays Johnny.
Oh, he plays Johnny. I'm sorry.
Yes. So he plays Johnny this week, which he's
all right. 7-0. What about week 8?
He plays Gotham Rogues.
Okay,
wow.
That's a tough game. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was looking at it. Excuse me.
We don't know about buys either. You might just get smacked around.
It looked rough from the projections, but that means shit. Week 9, he plays Run CMC, who's project. Oh my god. Anyway, and then week 10, he's playing Blumpkin.
Okay, so he doesn't run across any more of the Owen whatever teams.
No.
So, and he's actually got a couple of decent matchups coming across. I wonder how long on the upside. I wonder how long he stays undefeated. This is fun.
Yeah. I mean, one of those games. The Blumpkin game looked a little rough from the.
Well, you can't look at.
I mean, not the Blumpkin, the Rogues, but yeah, you can't look at it
multiple
like that way.
Weeks ahead, buys and stuff,
and whatever happens the week before,
Yeah. Well, the only thing we need to worry about right now is what happens next week. But I will see you guys then, where it's always Sunday.